Oh, to feel human again. I have been on bed rest for a week because I've had cellulitis. When you have lipedema or lymphedema, you are a little bit more susceptible to cellulitis than the average person. I've had it in 2022 and last week it got me again. Last week I was starting to feel a touch unwell, very much like cold and flu symptoms. I had just been getting over tonsillitis, which I get all the time anyway. But Sunday evening, I started to get it where my whole body was in pain and aching. I started to get a really bad headache and I thought, the answer to everything, a boiling hot bath. I want the bath as hot as Satan's armpit, and it was just not getting hot enough for me. I was shivering. But I still stayed in there for about 4 hours and cried as I was getting out. My right leg, the back of my right leg on the calf was starting to be quite painful, almost like there was a bruise there, but there wasn't. And I was umming and ahhing if I had cellulitis, because last time it was the front of like my cankle area that was starting to get a bit red. So I thought, I'll see what I'm like through the night. One of the worst nights of my life. I could not settle at all. I was too hot, I was too cold, the lights are on, lights are off, I was putting my hoodie on, I was going downstairs and getting a cold drink. I just couldn't settle at all, and I just felt so not here. In the morning when I woke up, there was a big red rash up my leg. This is said rash. As soon as the doctors opened at 8, bam, I was on the phone. Obviously, Monday morning, massive queue. I think I was like 10th in the queue. So I thought I'll do the school run, put the phone on hands free and try and just get through to the doctors for an appointment for that day. With lipedema, when you develop cellulitis, you need to be seen quite quickly because it can develop septic quite quickly. So I do the school run and I'm still like number 8 in the queue. So I think, I'm gonna go to the doctors. Oh, and I hate doing that. It is like the last thing I ever want to do is, when I could ring and get an appointment, is like go in and be like, please can I have an appointment? Bear in mind, doing the school run, I had no intention of getting out of the car. So my hair was up. I was in a massive, massive jumper. I had no makeup on. I had old, probably wonky glasses on. I was in old scruffy joggies. And another thing with cellulitis is you become really breathless. So I rock up to the doctors and the poo receptionist just looked at me and she was like, can I help? She must have thought I'd been chased there by wolves, as I am there like, and I was like, I'm so sorry, apologising for being there. And I'm like, I'm so sorry, just wondering if I can have an appointment. I think I've got cellulitis. And she was like, yeah, come back in an hour. The nurse sees me, she takes my pulse. She's like, wow, your pulse is so high. I had a temperature, and she was looking at my legs. The thing is with lipedema, the cellulitis won't always show as red like it did on that previous picture. By the point I went back to the doctors, my leg had now went purple. So I was convinced I was a fraud. This is a picture I took just as I was about to go to the doctors. You can see it isn't as red and it is now purple. The nurse also wanted to measure my legs because obviously another sign of cellulitis is the leg becomes inflamed. Obviously with having lipedema, my legs are different sizes anyway. And she measured and she was like, yeah, I think you need to see the doctor. So I see the doctor, she's beautiful. I am feeling so unwell at this point. And she was concerned there was a DVT as well, purely because of it starting in the back of my leg and it feeling bruised. So she rings the local hospital and gets me a scan within half an hour. By this point, I know that I'm not good to drive, so I asked my friend to take me. We get there and I'm straight in for a scan. The woman who's scanning me goes, oh, this is a compression test. Now, what does a compression test mean? Pressure and pain. Obviously not intentional. They basically had to get a Doppler and put it right into my groin, pressing down, and then move all the way down my leg as well. She did say that every time I tensed, it would stop the vein, like them being able to get a good view of the veins. So I had to really just lie there and try and breathe through, because I was thinking, if I've got a DVT, I want to know. So she is pressing down on my veins, doing her job, doing an amazing job. Bear in mind, my head feels like it's 50 stone and it's going to explode. And she goes to me, breathe in, big deep breaths. And then she goes, breathe in and push out into your cheeks. So my head is bouncing and I've got to go. I was just like, oh no, I just want my bed. After she does all them scans, I get sent to another part of the hospital on the other side of the hospital. I was just saying to my friend at this point, I just want to go home. I just want my bed. Get to the other side. They do my pulse. They take bloods to see infection markers and blood pressure and temperature again. Again, they comment on my pulse and they say, this is quite high. Are you worried about your leg? And I'm like, no, I've just got cellulitis. I really don't feel well. I need antibiotics in bed. Luckily by that point they knew that I didn't have a DVT, so I could go home. On the little report that got sent after, it said that I had chronic lymphedema, which I did say lipedema, and that my pulse was high because I was anxious about my leg. But I'm too tired to correct them. So after that it was literally a week of elevating my leg, resting, because I kept going dizzy. On a night time I'd feel like I was on the waltzes, and my dizziness has only just stopped today. Today's like my first day of ever able to put any makeup on, and where I've been able to get up and go out without being breathless. I got dressed this morning, I wasn't out of breath. So yeah, cellulitis got me good. My leg is fine now, my infection markers have came down. Just please be mindful of cellulitis, and also if you have lipedema or lymphedema, it's worth making yourself aware of all the signs and symptoms of cellulitis too.